The wind howled like a banshee, a constant companion in the desolate town of Hollow Creek. Elara, a wisp of a girl with haunted eyes, huddled closer to Elias, her brother, by the flickering fire. Their grandfather, Silas, sat opposite them, his weathered face etched with worry. Hollow Creek, once a bustling town, now lay shrouded in an unnatural silence. It started with the murmurs. The first whispers came on a full moon, a soft, melodic chanting barely audible over the rustling leaves. It wasn't until the livestock started disappearing, then the townsfolk, that the murmurs turned ominous. Now, Hollow Creek was a ghost town, except for the three of them who were too poor and desperate to flee. Tonight, the moon hung low and full, casting an eerie glow on the skeletal remains of houses. Elara shivered, not just from the cold. The murmurs started, a low, rhythmic chanting that seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once. It crawled under her skin, filling her with a primal dread. Elias, usually stoic, clutched the rusted hunting rifle tighter. Silas, his voice raspy, muttered, "They're close tonight. We need to stay hidden." The firelight danced in his eyes, reflecting an ancient fear. He spoke of a time before he was born, of a forgotten ritual, a pact made with a darkness that resided in the woods beyond Hollow Creek. The chanting grew louder, punctuated by an unearthly shriek that sent a jolt through Elara. A shadow flickered at the window. It wasn't a human shape, more a twisted amalgamation of darkness, tendrils reaching out like skeletal fingers. Elias squeezed off a shot, the sound amplified in the dead silence. The creature recoiled with a hiss, the chanting momentarily faltering. "We have to move," Elias said, urgency lacing his voice. Silas shuffled to his feet, a groan escaping his lips. They grabbed whatever meager supplies they could and crept towards a hidden tunnel behind the fireplace. Silas had revealed its existence only recently, a last hope for escape. The tunnel was cramped and damp, the air thick with the smell of mildew. They crawled on their hands and knees, the chanting a constant, horrifying drone in their ears. The tunnel led them beneath the town, then upwards, the ground turning rough under their hands. Finally, they emerged into a hidden clearing bathed in an ethereal moonlight. The clearing was a forbidden zone, spoken of only in hushed whispers. In the center stood a circle of ancient stones, pulsating with a faint, malevolent light. As they neared, the chanting intensified, a cacophony of voices that threatened to shatter their minds. The ground rumbled, and shadowy figures materialized from the woods, drawn to the circle. Elara stumbled back, fear paralyzing her. It was then she saw it, a monstrous entity rising from the center of the circle, its form shifting and melding like smoke. The chanting reached a crescendo, and the monstrous form whipped its head towards them, pinpoints of malevolent light burning where eyes should be. Suddenly, Silas stepped forward, his voice surprisingly strong. "Stop," he bellowed. "You promised to leave us be." The entity let out a sound that was both a hiss and a laugh. "The pact is broken," it rasped. "You have sought escape. Now, you will join the offering." Elara watched in horror as Silas, tears streaming down his face, began to speak in a language she didn't understand. It was the language of the pact, one he had learned from forgotten scrolls. The air crackled with energy, and the ground trembled. The entity recoiled, its form flickering. Silas continued speaking, his voice cracking with strain. The clearing was bathed in an intense white light. Elara screamed, shielding her eyes. When she opened them, the light faded. Silas was gone, and the entity was nowhere to be seen. Only the pulsating stones remained, a chilling reminder of the pact and the horrifying choice that had saved them. Elias pulled Elara close, his body shaking. They were alone, adrift in a world that seemed even more terrifying now. The chanting had ceased, replaced by an eerie silence even more unnerving. Leaving the clearing behind, they walked towards the rising sun, the weight of their sacrifice a heavy burden on their young hearts. The moonlit murmurs may have fallen silent for now, but Elara knew, with a chilling certainty, that the darkness lurking beyond Hollow Creek still watched, patiently waiting for the next full moon.